have a grim look.
Hello everybody, welcome back to some Skyrim Special Edition. Uh,
My
Picking up where
brother
we left
Calcemo
off,
done
last
for
time I do
service.
believe we did
Thank you.
a couple of Daedric missions, and we are still in Markarth, and
Welcome,
today I
brother.
figured we would go and check out Calcemo here. If you recall, the last time we talked to him, we got him a girlfriend, and unfortunately everybody
I'm
wears the same
Calcemo's
fucking
nephew.
robes.
I help him around the laboratory.
Yep.
Good. I have things to study. What is it?
Oh, well here, first, let's make an
Excellent.
investment,
I think you'll be glad. Thank you.
because why not?
I'll be sure to put it to good use.
So you're researching the Dwemer?
Yes, their history and culture is all around us in Markarth. A race of stonecutters, artisans, and engineers. They invented machines and built elaborate underground cities where they researched powers to rival the gods themselves. And then, at a time we are still not sure when, they disappeared. The whole people, all at once, leaving behind only their works.
Why do you need guards?
To protect my research, for one. There are more cutthroat scholars out there who would steal my findings if they got the chance. And the excavations into Zell are dangerous. Dwemer machines and traps still function, even after thousands of years.
Also, if you're wondering about this Winterberry thing, it's a player home that I bought to move my family into so that my kids could actually have their own beds instead of two of them sleep and the other one just has to stand there. Depending on how long this part, or how long, like, this quest takes, or two quests, I guess it is technically, I might just show you for the end of it. But anyway, I'd like to see the excavation site.
Persistent, aren't you? Oh, very well. Who am I to stand in the way of curiosity? I'll let you in if you agree to something for me. There's a giant spider in Zell. My workers call her Nimi, the poisoned one. If you deal with Nimi, I'll let you into both the excavation site and my Dwemer museum. What do you say?
That spider is as good as dead.
Enthusiasm. Good. Here's the key to the dig site.
Alright.
What? Calcemo's nephew.
So yeah, anyway, that player home that I got, you can hire anyone that considers you a friend as a cook, and a maid and a steward, and I have a feeling based on the beds that are in there that you can hire multiple maids, because I'm just guessing, because there's there's 6 beds for your kids. There's for some reason 2 master bedrooms though, and then there's a bedroom with 5 beds in it that's for your companions. Like if I wanted to, I could talk to her and send her to live at Winterberry. And then there's another room with just 1 bed that I'm assuming is for the steward. And then there's a final room with 3 beds in it. So I'm assuming that you can get 3 maids, but I don't know that. But anyway, more on that later, at a later time anyway. As for this, if you are somebody who wants to max out their smithing fairly easily without having to do the stupid iron dagger thing that I usually do, and yes, I called it stupid and then admitted to doing it, coming and doing this mission is amazing for that, because all of this, or not all of it, but a lot of it can be smelted into dwarven ingots, and that's how I did it last time. Not this time, but last time I played this game. Is like one of the first things I did was come and do this quest so that I could gain access not only to the ruins, which you'll see has a fuck ton of these little Dwemer things. Also, can I pick up that vase? I can't. The urn. But then once we do it, he, as he said, gives us access to the museum, which has even more. Now, technically, you have to steal that stuff, but believe it or not, once you smelt down a decorative piece of metal, they can no longer recognize that it was something you stole. And to be fair, I'm not 100% certain that it's stealing. When you go and take it from there, we will go and check it out after we're done. But as he said, there is a giant spider in here. that we have to deal with. I kind of wish that they had more variety on the spiders. Like, I can also hear it. But like every spider that we come across is a frostbite spider. And for some reason, noticed this earlier, she doesn't seem all that interested in attacking anymore for some reason. And I don't know why. Like when I was dicking around with the house, I got attacked by an assassin and she just stood there and took all the hits. And I don't know why she stopped attacking. She may be glitched out already, which would suck because then we'll need to get another follower. And we don't really have anyone, or I don't really have anybody lined up to replace her. So I don't know why, like where any of her aggressiveness is gone. And I would hope that she wouldn't break this quickly. I mean, I know that we've broken a few followers now, but
An orc follows to the death.
also if you're interested, I sent Rhea and Iola to live at the house. And I changed Iola, well, I gave her the mourner clothes. But anyway, once again, when we get there, talk about it. And you may have noticed, and actually this is the first time I've noticed, I do have a different graphics pack on now. I haven't noticed too many differences. I noticed now that the yeah, are you actually okay? Let's hope. Okay, good. So she is gonna fight. Good. So I don't. Maybe just like if they initiate the fight or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird because as you saw, she had no interest in fighting the last spider. But yeah, I haven't noticed too many differences. And all like in all honesty, until I saw the until I noticed that particular ore vein, it didn't even click the first ore vein that I mined out. That they look different. They look good. But yeah, I decided different graphics pack because it was just one graphics pack that I had to download, whereas the other one that I had like 8 different parts to it that you had to download separately, and then they would get like updated separately. And it's like, you know what, just give me one. Simplicity, right? Same reason why I prefer playing games on consoles over PC. It's not that it's necessarily difficult, it's just definitely more difficult. Like, it is still definitely easier. Well, she does do quite a bit of damage with that axe, which makes sense. Tell Calcemo that Nimhi is dead. Later. Actually, to be fair, maybe. Because we should be able to go... yeah, this guy right here. Alethius's notes. We've been saddled with some researchers who can't go 4 steps without examining something, and they fight about as well as you'd think, probably worse. Strom at least has some magical competence, but none of them can swing a sword. Urge and Craig seem up to something, so I'll have to keep an eye on them, but Staubin assures me they're trustworthy. And this is the Lost Expedition. We also got a new miscellaneous... Oh no, I guess we did. Never mind. Well, we had... I had a different miscellaneous quest in there, but I'm not too worried about it. Well, we can pick it up whenever. Alright, so I guess the... God, that was a thick fucking web. So I should try and find the researcher Alethius mentioned in his notes. So there's 4 of them that we have to locate. Now this, I think, is this the first dwarven ruins that we went through outside of the jailbreak? That's a trap. I think so, right? But that's good, because that means there's Falmer, which gives us at least something of a chance to get... all we need is the hardened boots. But once again, I'm not sure if that's a thing we can actually get, because as you notice, no issues. I also downloaded another mod to that lets me craft clothes for the kids. Because, you know, they don't have very many options. And, oh yeah, and when I was talking about that before, and I said I was testing out, like, my multiple options and that to see if it worked. And it turns out that at some point I did actually save. So I do, in fact, have 3 kids now. And along with that, I have been in Windhelm, which means that you missed... but the only thing that you would have really missed was the... when you first enter Windhelm, there's an argument between 2 Nord guys and a Dark Elf woman. To be fair, when I entered it, the argument didn't really happen because, as I said before, dragons everywhere, and apparently I saved after that, and I don't know why. But yeah, this is a rather large... I mean, most dwarven ruins are large, I guess. I was going to say this is a rather large dwarven ruin, but that describes, like, every dwarven ruin, so... but they have... Oh, yeah, and I still don't know what that skill point is for. I don't know what I have downloaded. Because I do have... Like, I don't... Like, I honestly have no idea what I have downloaded that, that keeps giving me these random skill points. Like, I don't know. But considering that they're giving them to me in, like, light armor, I'm fine with it. Nothing there. The Dwarven ruins in these games, like I said, are all rather large, and they get very puzzly at times. This one doesn't really have much in the way of puzzles. The one I'm thinking of is very puzzly. But I think it has 3 different locations to go into. Come on, just get out of the water, you jackass. Oh, tell him, there we go. Just like some games with our first-person games with swimming. It's a little bit harder to get out of the water than it should be. But yeah, they have, I think, 3 different areas. There's an armory. I think there's like a housing place. I don't remember. I think, but I'm pretty sure there's 3. Anyway. And there isn't going to be too much for us to pick up in here. As you can imagine, it being an excavation site and all, a lot of stuff has already been taken by the people excavating. So like right there is actually one of the researchers. We need to go through that one and we come up there. That chest, I do believe we can actually reach right now. Where is it? There it is. Roll instrument. If we do this. Oof. And then, yeah, that leads to the quarters. Steel dagger of torpor. No. 400. I think that's the quarters. So yeah, we can actually go through this backwards, but I don't really want to do that because it does kind of break some stuff. Although I will admit they were smart enough to make it so that when you do manage to get into some place backwards, we'll go in here first. It extreme healing, blacksmith's filter. That's not even a good one. They do generally have ways to open the gates that you're supposed to open from the proper side first. Even some that has like no feasible way of getting to the other side without going through the one direction, they'll still usually have something on the other side of it. But anyway, we'll go through this door first, since it is technically the first one that you should come across. What is this? Quarters, yeah, the living space. Living space armory. Can't for the life of me remember what the other one is. So yeah, as we play, I'm gonna keep my eye out because like anybody that you do a quest for is, I think automatically has their rank risen to friend outside of a few instances. So I'm gonna keep my eye out for any that I would like to hire for my house. I tried to hire. Is it Nadia? Or am I thinking of something else? Sadia. If you remember, she's the Red Guard woman that was running, or that was hiding in Whiterun, in the Bannered Mare. And since she was the cook there, and she was somebody that we did a quest for, I was like, oh, you know what? Let's get her as our cook, because she actually has, like, a backstory of sorts. So I thought that would be cool. Turns out, apparently she doesn't consider me a friend, or at least not enough of one to come work for me. So I couldn't recruit her, which is unfortunate. I'm guessing this Falmer's running away. Now you may notice that we are in fact getting even armor from the guys that aren't even wearing it. But I see he's got hardened armor and the hardened helm, but he's not wearing either of those things. And so is that one. Which is unfortunate because that would obviously be a good way to notice, but like I said, none of them wear shoes, and I can't, and I'm pretty sure that at no point do they drop shoes. But as I was saying before, because I forgot about it like immediately, I do have a mod that lets me craft different clothes for the kids so that I have different options for them, but if we end up seeing the kids in this part, you'll notice that they are not wearing any special clothes or anything. And that's because I don't know if I'm actually going to do it, because while playing around with it, I noticed none of those clothes come with shoes, which is what made me think of it when talking about the Falmer, because they don't wear shoes either. But yeah, and then as for, obviously you met Blaze. He was the kid at the Solitude Stables, I think it's Catless Farm.
Calm. I prefer it boiled.
And he was talking about sleeping outside. And then the other girl is the one from Windhelm who sells flowers. Now you never saw her, but and for the life of me I can't remember her name at the moment. But just like the other ones, you don't have to do anything now. I saw that as I stepped on it. But yeah, as with the other kids, you don't have to do anything special. You just have to talk to her. I think that one you might actually have to buy a flower first, and then you can adopt her. Anyway, I've decided to remain behind with one of our guards and further document the living area we've stumbled across. I write this to the best of my ability, but due to the sudden disappearance of the Dwemer, it is almost impossible to say for certain what anything is. The tree. By the 9, I cannot determine the purpose of this tree. It appears to be from the area around Whiterun, but why and how it got here is beyond me. I think it may be a gift from the surface world, but based on the lavish surroundings, it could also be a display of power. I'll check the living areas nearby for any additional clues. It could just be decoration. Trees are nice. Upon further investigation of the area, it looks like this structure houses 2 clans or families. I can think of no other reason for this particular layout. Perhaps this group oversaw this particular portion of the city. I'll have to compare notes from the other areas if we uncover more of the city. Hopefully some of those will contain more in-depth clues. It appears a smaller wing collapsed on itself, and maybe when the expedition returns we can dig out an entrance. Falmer have begun to creep back into this area of the ruins. It's a good thing I am not alone here. I managed to block off some of the areas we suspect the Falmer were coming in through, but they're still getting to us somehow. Together we are able to hold them back, but how long until Staubin and the rest return? So yeah, as you can imagine, they're all dead. I mean, there's I don't think there was ever any question about that. But yeah, so these, like, what does this tree? Maybe it's a source of power. I mean, it could just be a nice, like, I could see, you know, like, just come have a seat, eat underneath the nice tree. I mean, right? People do that all the time. I mean, there's even a bench here. Have a seat and have some lunch while staring at the nice tree. How it's blowing in the wind, I don't know, but, you know, maybe there's a draft. But yeah, the Falmer showed up, fucked everything up, as they do, and killed all the researchers. And then the big spider showed up, so I guess nobody managed to come down here and find these guys beforehand. Here would be his guard that he was talking about, that he stayed behind with. Whether the fact that his guard is this far away from him means anything, I don't know. I mean, it could very easily be that the guard got pushed back because he was at the desk next to his journal, so it could be that the guard was checking something out over here while the farmer creeped behind that guy. Now this, I don't think this closes the door, does it? Ah, right, yeah, it does that. It activates that towards the device. I was gonna say it makes spikes, but for some reason I thought that the spikes hit this thing. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, now this area here, I don't know if it's still broken. I know that at one point it was broken where at the clearly I was here. Right. Where once you've completed the quest, the quest marker leads you to a dead end. Like if you try and you can follow the quest markers throughout the entire quest or throughout the entire thing, but once you've collected all of the journals, you can't use the quest marker anymore because it leads you in a very roundabout route to a dead end. I'm assuming that it's supposed to be like a shortcut that used to exist, maybe. That just doesn't anymore. Also, that was the quarters, right? Yeah. So, but we never found this door, did we? So where the hell? I was about to say I can do this all day. Well, that I can do all day. Got some more light armor up though. That's good. See, and then look, this guy looks like he's wearing a bunch of armor, but all he's got is a helmet. So yeah, this is the quarters again. But we never made it here, and the fact that Orgok didn't come with us, or didn't spawn at that door with us. There she is. If I recall as well, I also only need one more level of... Oh, wow, they took Borgoth down. Poor guy. That's interesting. Oh, wow, yeah, they were doing a lot of damage. Also, I did actually try a couple different mods in between parts as well. I downloaded to try and make friends with people, so that I could just try and recruit anyone. I downloaded one called Missives, I think it is, but I don't think it was working, or at least it didn't work like the description of the mod did. It just adds basically not a message board. What the hell do you call that? A notice board. Just adds a notice board to all the capitals. That just has randomly generated quests on it to go find this, go kill this, recover this, deliver this, whatever, right? And it's supposed to be anybody in the hold, and it's supposed to reset every 3 days. But when I used it, a lot of them were from the same person. And then I waited 5 days, and it didn't reset. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with this one instead. So yeah, I ended up just giving up on that one and deleting it. Another adept level lock, eh? Oh. There we go. Conjurer's Draught. Glass armor. Interesting. Glow dust. I don't even know. I think you get these off of Wisp Mothers, maybe. Nern Root, and at which, as you can see, I do have all 4 things for that one. And I have nothing for wheat, so I'll just eat that, because I don't know how I've never done that before. Also, didn't I already pick up that Conjurer's Draught? There's another thing you can do, apparently, to make friends with people, where you can drop stuff next to them. And they're supposed to pick it up and tell you that you dropped it, and then if you let them keep it, it'll make them friends with you. But I tried doing that as well, and just nobody would pick up anything. Alright, so... Oh, when we came up, so... Alright. I see where we missed it. I see now. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense there. It's the benefit of being able to, like, shortcut using Whirlwind Sprint. You know, I don't use the shouts very often in this game. But Whirlwind Sprint is a useful one. Now, did we go this way at all? I don't think so, right? No, clearly not. Okay. But yeah, as you can tell, like, most of this junk on the floor can be smelted down. There are a few things that can't, and I imagine there's probably a mod that lets you do it. I mean, I know that there's mods that let you smelt down, like, weapons and shit, so... Yeah, then because I'm up here, it just wants me to go back in there, because it wants me to exit through the other door. Not gonna do that. And then this was the armory, right? Yeah.
Hey.
I don't know why she spawned so close to me in doors. I don't remember, like, when we go walk into a door, I don't remember any of the other ones doing that. I mean, that does pretty good damage compared to my Ice Bolt. Obviously, I can't fire it as often. But it seems to do pretty good damage. Maybe if I had a little bit better. Well, to be fair, I don't think that I've got the perks in Destruction outside of the first one yet, and I think that that's at least a somewhat... I think that these are probably higher... Yeah, they're apprentice level spells, so... I guess I could take that perk if I really want to, but the only thing that I really want from the Destruction skill tree is the boost to the elemental damages, because that applies to your weapon enchantments as well. And the weapon enchantment that I like to use is the chaos damage one, because it has a chance to, which I don't think we can get until we go to Solstheim, but it has a chance to do fire, lightning, or frost damage. And each one of those is actually a separate instance. So you can actually get a hit that does fire, lightning, and frost damage all at once. Okay, well those ones are dead. Guy's ass is up in the air. And yeah, that's really the only enchantment that I ever put on anything. And even then, I rarely keep it charged just because it's such a pain in the ass. But Urge. How foolish to move through this place so quickly. It's taken me only a few hours to crack the back gate. Maybe I'll donate a cup or two, but Craig says he knows some private buyers who will pay handsomely for a working trinket. There has to be one in here. The side doors are all locked, but this chest should have one or two things of value. When I get out, I'm going to buy myself a castle. I don't know why did doing that open up. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that as soon as I open this chest, it won't activate this guy, I don't think. But I do believe that some spheres in that will come out. Ooh, a flawless madness ore. The fuck is that? I'll take it. I can go with like my amber and shit that I don't know what it is either. There we go. Destruction increased to 60, which is what I wanted. Ooh, these are sphere masters, but she got it done. So I don't. I guess maybe it's still just magic that's taking her down. That would make sense. But with that, go into destruction. There we go. More damage. Augmented frost, and then our next perk will go into augmented shock, and then that will be everything that I need out of the destruction tree. Now, I do believe that just increasing your destruction skill level also increases the damage that it does. So it'll still be a while before I stop using destruction magic, but I won't be needing any more perks from the tree is the main thing. There we go. Speaking of levels, let's see, everything's at 280, so I'll pop another one into health. Augmented shock, and there is all of, yeah, and then more bugs. Which actually we have to do. Info, update. Let's see, it only has 10 left, so you know what, we'll give her 5 to health and 5 to stamina, which I realize isn't actually a thing you can really do. Let's see, archery, heavy armor, sneak, two-handed. She has 7 skill points remaining, but as far as I know, none of these will really help, since she just gets like the basic upgrades from them, and not, I guess, block maybe, because she does block with her axe every once in a while, so we'll do that, I guess, for her. Okay, this room is empty. So yeah, as you can tell, 2 of these researchers were planning on thieving something to sell, apparently enough to buy a castle. Oh, no. Oh, almost. Our dwarven gauntlets, helmet, boot, armor. Well, hey, if you want some dwarven armor. And actually, come to think of it, I do believe that dwarven armor, if you like the looks of it, it actually is a good alternative to Daedric or Dragonbone in that, because there's a perk you can get somewhere. I don't remember. 300 some. Although, as you'll notice, my gold has taken a pretty big hit when I bought that player home. There is a perk somewhere. I don't remember where exactly you get it, but it may. I see. It makes dwarven armor specifically better.
That's the best, huh?
But yeah, it makes that armor, or makes dwarven armor better just by itself. I don't remember if you need to be wearing a full set of it, maybe, for the perk itself to take effect. But either way, it does give dwarven armor a pretty good boost. and makes it a lot more viable near the end game. Now, anywhere where there's a dead Falmer that we didn't kill. Oh wait, this is back at the entrance, is it not? Yeah, this is the entrance. And we went. Oh, and then I guess we just went. No, that doesn't make sense because we ended up in front of that gate. So we must have started. Oh, I see. It's just one big loop. Okay. Because then if we go this way. Yeah, and then we're just right back at the entrance. Okay. These ruins can get fairly twisty-turny. I mean, even more so than the actual place called Labyrinthian. Because as you saw, that maze wasn't really much of a maze. But now we went through here. This should be another journal. That one looks like it could come alive. I knew if we dug deep enough, we'd eventually hit some fresh ruins. Markarth, the city built upon a city. From early pieces recovered, we've determined the name of the city is Netruan Zel. I don't remember how the hell he pronounced it. But past that, we have very little info. We've been given an escort through, and tomorrow we will delve into the city proper. It's only been a day, and I already miss my desk and chair. I thought it would be a little more fun to explore, but so far it's just been fighting spiders and getting to view an occasional rubble pile. Hopefully we get to the main ruins soon so we can set up a camp and I can start cataloging some of the items I've been able to find. We found the armory earlier, and Urge has stayed behind to find a way into the main vault. If anyone can open the locks, it's him. Kept going and settled up here for the night since the guards say it will be easy to defend. I've put up a few runes just in case. Ooh, he has a Daedra heart on him. Oh, here's the guard. Or another guard. It's weird that none of these guards have swords. Like, where are all their swords? Like, I don't think the Falmer... Oh, I guess that one isn't alive. Huh. Now, he did say he put out some runes, so I should probably... Oh, there's another soldier. So I might want to watch for that. But yeah, as you can tell, we've only got one more... Ooh, some Moonstone ore. Also, sorry if we had some weird noises in the microphone while I was reading that. I had an itchy eye, and unfortunately it was the same eye that the microphone is next to. Because I haven't been up for very long. Should probably wash my face before I started recording. Ah, the control. Here we go. Now, what this controls in the city, I don't know. Because I don't think this city has that many moving parts to it. There are some that we come across later that do, but I don't remember this one having it. Why won't it? Oh, I see. She was finishing that one off. Oh, I stepped on the thing again. Now I'm getting poisoned. Falmer. Ah, but it's heavy boots, not hardened. Or wait, or is it? No, maybe it is heavy though, not hard. Also, the house I bought does have displays for like the dragon claws and the dragon priest mask. And a couple other things, but I'm not going to use it for that because it doesn't have all of it. There was a house that I wanted. It was a Rosewood Estate. And it had a bunch of... And it seemed to have, like, all the displays that you could want for, like, all the different unique stuff. Wow, that does a lot more damage now. But unfortunately, it didn't really... work. Because I couldn't get inside of it, and it was a very nice, like it was a very well done mod. It looked beautiful. Like I could run around the outside. Like it was its own. Like the outside was even its own separate thing, like its own separate zone, and then the inside was even more, but unfortunately whenever I tried to go inside, the game would crash. So after making our way down the mine and through the spiders, we finally made it down to Nechuanzel proper. They built the city into the very cave walls that house it. Amazing. Nechuanzel hums with life, but its guardians lay dormant. Hopefully we can learn more as we go deeper. This area seems to be where two of the city's families lived. We spent some time studying this tree outside the dwellings, but cannot figure out what its significance is. Strum will be remaining behind with one of the students to further study this area in greater depth. I look forward to reading his notes on the subject. Today we entered the city's armory. The Falmer have yet to break into the best of the dwarven goods, thanks to the sturdy Dwemer locks. Urge said he would be able to get into the vault and would send word when he's in. The spiders gave us much trouble, but who could have foreseen they've been the only thing keeping Markarth safe? After exiting the armory, we made camp, but the Falmer have been watching us and finally tired of our intrusion. They came while we slept and slaughtered what guards were left. Meridia, forgive me for using my students as a distraction to get away, but I have to bring this place back to life. Too many couldn't hit the switch. Right. So if you can get into here, which I do believe I'll show when we leave, that path you saw, as you probably guessed, leads back to the entrance. And I do believe that there's a way for you to get up onto that and end up here before the rest of the place. So you can either try and sneak past the Falmer, do like we did, and just obliterate them. Oh, that dwarven spider has some gold ore on it. Is this a different? No, I think that's. Is there more than one spider here? Dwemer gyro. Oh, that was you. Or you can try and get over to where we are here first, and if you manage that, you can actually activate a bunch of the statues in that are around, I do believe, and they will fight the Falmer. Now, who wins, I do believe, is based off of your level. Because everything will level based off of you. And I think that when you're at a lower level, the dwarven stuff will win. But when you're at a higher level, like I am, I do believe that makes the... that actually makes the Falmer win. Because they are... 850 for 2 weight. Yeah, sure. 600 for 1 weight. Sure. 400 for 11. No. Because I do believe that the Falmer end up being stronger. There we go. But yeah, now that we've activated that, it should have like that Centurion that I said I thought was alive. I do believe it is now alive. I think those statues that I whacked before in the armory, I do believe that those have now come to life. Yeah, see, and then when we come out, it even has spawned some extra guys. But yeah, we'll see who wins this fight, because I think because of our level, the Falmer win that fight. And once again, I don't know, maybe it's the slope. Because yeah, when you're a low enough level, I do believe that I think the dwarven things, the Centurion must have fallen off, I guess, when they killed it. I think the dwarven things have a little bit of a higher minimum level, whereas the Falmer have a little bit higher maximum level. Oh, almost killed it. Heavy Helm is 31. But yeah, as you can see, they did spawn a few more guys so that when you come out, you could get the whole experience. Of what activating the place was supposed to have done. I don't know if all these extra guys are automatically spawned or if they only spawn if you already killed everyone else. But either way, it does kind of, you know, it's like they had a bunch of Falmer to deal with to explore this place, and it's like, oh well, all the Falmer are cleared out, but supposedly, once again, I'm pretty sure that the dwarven contraptions there are supposed to win that fight. I don't think that the Falmer are supposed to, but they didn't put anything in to actually force them to lose. Oh, and it seems like it is like that bug was fixed. I mean, to be fair, I don't remember the last time I saw that bug where it didn't lead you to the actual exit. That might have been a thing way back on the 360. I just remember it occurring where I finished that quest and then I like end up wandering around following the stupid quest marker and just never finding my way out. But yeah, we turned this into Calcemo as well. They both get turned into the same person. Well, I mean, the one makes sense that we turn it into him since he's the one who gave it to us. But yeah, with that, if you ever wanted to get a fuck ton, because I think I've had like a few hundred dwarven bows lying around last time I did this, and that's how I leveled up all of my smithing.
I have things to study. What is it?
I've killed Nimhi.
You have my gratitude. That spider had been interfering with my excavations for months. As promised, is the key to the Dwemer Museum. Mind the displays. Some of them are quite fragile.
And I found this expedition journal.
Let's see. Ah, so that's what happened to Staben. Tragic. But I warned him he was leading those people on a fool's errand. Unfortunately, sometimes the stone of scholarship is built on the foundation of death. I'll inform the kin. Here, I usually pay researchers for their work when they emerge from the ruins, but they won't be needing it anymore.
Alright.
What? Oh,
I don't think this guy... Yeah, that guy doesn't have any quests for us. We've already did the quest over there. Alright. And we still have a few minutes, so I guess I shall show you my new abode. Let's see, did we actually get to keep all of those books, by the way? Sandus, Staben, Strom. Looks like... Oh, and Craig, there we go. And Urge's notes, yeah, okay. I think next time we'll do this one. Alright, so yeah, Winterberry, which is the name of this place, is just south of Morthal. I don't remember the name of the guy who made the mod, but he made a few of them. This is the only... He actually made, I do believe, the Rosewood one as well that I would have wanted to use, but I couldn't. But yeah, this is the Winterberry Chateau. It does give me a little bit of lag when I'm outside here, but I don't know why. For some reason, your horse gets stabled here instead of someplace just outside the gate. If you go around back, you have a greenhouse with a fuck ton of planters, and that's where your alchemy setup is. And then you have this nice little pool here. Nice little hot spring, I guess. There's nothing around back, even though it looks like there should be. I mean, there's a door over there, but that's it. And then, as you can see, there's this nice little seating area here. And then if we go up, what time is it actually? 8 p.m. If we go up here, you have this nice little fountain area, which I feel should be more recessed than it is. Like, I don't think you should be able to walk out into it. But then we got a nice little seating area there as well. And then inside the chateau proper, hopefully it doesn't crash on me. I don't think this one's ever crashed on me, because I was playing around with them before. But then this is the study. This is where all the claws go. This is where all the masks go, including Flavica's Files Bust. But then as you can see, they just have regular mannequin, shield, and weapon racks. But then for some reason, this one is specifically for Spellbreaker. And then over here, there you go. We got different busts that I don't need that for different helmets. And then up here, you can activate a Xur Star or the Black Star.
A little coin always greases the wheels.
And then as you see, I did move Isolde in. Our kids are somewhere talking about coin greasing the wheels. But yeah, as you can see, there's weapon and armor plaques everywhere. Here's Iola. I gave her the mourner's clothes and a Daedric sword, which I thought made sense. Rhea, I just kept as Rhea. She has seemed to have lost her woodcutter's axe spawning, but the gold ring that she keeps, or that she had kept spawning in her inventory, is still there. She does keep spawning that neat looking in. But yeah, they wander around and do stuff. Oh yeah, we also have places for the Elder Scrolls. We've got display cases that actually have like weapon racks in them to place stuff. The Paragons would go up there. What even goes there? The Ring of Hersine would go there, and then, but what about Namira's ring? You might ask, and I would say, yeah, I don't know. Oh, there's the Ring of Namira, and then the Ring of Hersine. I guess they go on the same thing. But yeah, I do get a little bit of lag as you see while running around this place, so I don't really want to display anything. Like, we even have these displays here, the trophy bases, where I can build statues to animals, but I don't want to do that either. But in here's the children's room. As you see, they get some bunk beds, but they do actually sleep, because like right now, or at least last time, I had kids sleeping in both of those beds, and then over here.
My blood's calm. I prefer it
yes,
boiling.
Borgath, do you mind? There we go. And then over here is one master bedroom, but I don't know whose bedroom this is supposed to be.
An orc follows to the
Come
death.
on. Because, and if we go over here, we have another master bedroom, and this one is clearly supposed to be your master bedroom, because over here, not only do they have this weird little pool, they also have this secret room. So, I mean, clearly, that's supposed to be your, or this one is supposed to be your room.
My blood's calm. I prefer it boiling.
And then, like I said, I haven't hired anyone to be the cook or the maids yet, because I don't know who to hire for that. Apparently, Isolde's going to do some cleaning.
Hey, Pa.
Hey,
Need
Blaze.
something? Bye, Pa.
And then, yeah, down here we have another pool. And as you can see, whenever an NPC approaches the pool, they automatically lose their clothes. I think that one's Lucia, yeah. So that's the one that you know about. And then we have a sauna here. Oh, getting around.
My blood's calm.
And then we have another, I'm guessing, supposed to be a shower here. And we have our blacksmith stuff here. We have, oh, there's Iola. We have we have another alchemy station, enchanting, and even a staff creator, which is from Dragonborn. And then over here we have the bedroom that your followers can stay in. So this is where Rhea and Iola sleep. And then over here, I'm assuming, is the maid's room.
My blood's calm. I prefer it boiling.
Because, like I said, there's 3 beds in here. So it could be, although there's a chef's hat here. So that could be for the chef.
You have a grim
And 2
look.
maids. But then we also have this here room here that I'm assuming is for, I assumed was for a bard because it has all these instruments in the corner. But unlike the one place that I found, also still missing a kid. Oh, Iola came out. It's very weird. I think there's a way to turn that off. To turn off when that NPCs lose their clothes automatically when they enter this area. But I don't, for the life of me, remember where it is. I want to say it's supposed to be a button somewhere, but I don't remember. Anyway, we're still missing a child here. And it's the child that you guys have not seen on here before. I do believe if we go up to these, yeah, we can also light a fire, which completely changes the logs that are in there. It doesn't even just light the logs that are in there on fire. But yeah, it's a nice little house. The kids all have their own bed instead of just having that. I can keep the followers that we break here, so that, you know. Well, I guess if
I killed a bear yesterday. Did you
if
kill it?
Borgok had broken, we could have taken Eola. I mean, we haven't used her yet, so. But yeah. And then as you can see, there are bookshelves here. And there's like a bookcase here, and you can see books in it, and it has books. But I don't know if the books that are in it are why you can see books there. Because there was other ones like this one here, right? You open this cabinet, and this is for the black books. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's not horrible. I kind of wish that they had slanted these a little bit more, because the fact that you have to look like straight down, and when you put stuff in that one, you can't really see it. But yeah, I don't know. It's not bad. It just seems like they put like random, well, not so much random. I mean, they do have obviously like, you know, all the Dragon Priest Mass, all that, but like they only have like Spellbreaker and like the Black Stars or a star, and they don't have. I don't know. It's just weird. Is all.
I prefer it boiled.
It's just weird. But yeah, that's my new house for now. I couldn't find any better ones that wouldn't crash. And like I said, I do get a little bit of lag outside of it, but I don't know if that has to do with Morthal being as close as it is, or if it has to do with, because like it has nothing to do with the people that I have living here, because it was like that before I moved anyone in. I don't know if it maybe has something to do with all of these planters. That would be my best guess, is that it has to do with the planters, which is why I haven't put anything in them. And yeah, I don't know where my last child went to. She's, oh, there's a dragon now. But yeah, I don't know where my last child went. She's just kind of gone at the moment. What do you want, dragon? I don't even know how the dragon interacts with this place. But I'll just leave. But yeah, it's a nice place. The only thing I don't really like about it is that it isn't even one of the cities, because like when you have one in the city, your kids actually will go and play with like the other kids and that are in that city. Also, I did switch back to the Lord Stone to get my magic resist back up, because as I was running around doing stuff, at least I think I have it, I noticed that my no, I'm actually, yeah. Because that's why I've been taking a little bit more damage, is because I don't have the Lord Stone activated anymore, so I will probably end up going back to that. Although, maybe not, because this does let me get my healing up a little bit. Another dragon soul. How many of those do we have now? I currently have 10 dragon souls and nothing to spend it on. But either way, that'll be it for this part. I don't think I have anything that I need to put in, right? Because after we did all of that stuff before, I went and I put all that stuff. I have a bunch of stuff that I'll need to sell though. Oh, right, the Fulmer Heavy Boots. We do actually have something to put in the vault. And hopefully it's heavy and not hardened that I needed. I think it is. Yeah, it is. And there we go. That's our full set of Falmer armor. So now we got the Falmer, the Forsworn. Actually, which armor is this? Yeah, this is the Old Gods one. Got some Thalmor armor, some Cultist armor. So yeah, all of our armor sets in here are complete. So if I come across another armor set that I want, I can put it in there. What goes in here? Just nothing. Okay. Whatever I want, I guess. Although, what's keening? Where did I see that? I don't know. I think I... Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that'll be it for this part. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
My blood's calm. I prefer.
And I will see you on Thursday for some more stuff in Markarth.